Hello everyone, it's Adelina for Ellen Hutson. Today I'm sharing a process video for a layout I did in my Canvo bullet journal using the April Essentials by Ellen release. I'll be using the watercolor kit I created last month for this layout. I'll link that below in the description. I'm using my water brushes with some VersaFine Clair ink in Nocturne. Initially, I had planned to show you this layout. However, after spending time watercoloring the images, I realized I forgot to turn the camera back on. So pretty much anything that could go wrong creating this layout went sideways for me. Oh. I mean, seriously? So after a brief break, because clearly I needed one, I came back and created a new layout. So as you watch me create this layout, let's chat about water-safe inks. So there are a few on the market, and when I choose an ink to use with my watercolor layouts, I read the label to make sure it states that it's either water-resistant or safe with watercolors. I'll include a few of the watercolor-safe inks in the product description below in case you're interested. So for my layouts, I prefer VersaFine Clair inks because I can get a crisp, clear impression on the first try. And as you can see on my layout, the watercolor on the back side of this page did bleed through. So remember how I said that anything that could go wrong went wrong? Yeah, it did. So the reason that watercolor bled through is because I did 4 layers of color on the flowers. And these pages are thick cardstock, so it was just too much water for them to handle. 1 to 2 layers of color is about as much as I can get before it starts to bleed through the page. So carefully dabbing that color on the surface is the best approach when watercoloring these small images in the Canvo. Since I had spots where the watercolor had bled through, I had 2 options to deal with it. I could have stamped the same flower image over that area and watercolored it using the same colors, and you would not have noticed it at all. Or I could stamp new images on heavyweight cardstock, die cut them, and adhere them over those areas. So I opted for option 2. I stamped images on 110-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock and watercolored those images. For adhering these images, I used a glue stick, but you can use any of your favorite adhesives for this task. Just be careful with how much you use. If you choose a liquid adhesive, a little goes a long way, and you don't want to glue around the sides of your image, ruining the look of your layout. Ask me how I know. And I used a clear block to press my images in place because I had glue all over my fingers because I'm the messiest crafter. So as I was doing the lines for my layout, I made a little bit of a mistake. You can see it there at the bottom of the layout. And this has happened to me in the past. And so what I do when this happens is I pull out my Jelly Roll pen in white glaze and just kind of go over the little spot where it happened. And I let it dry, wait until it's completely dry. And that part is important because if you go over this glaze pin mark when it's still wet, it acts like a putty, and it kind of it doesn't really layer on well until it's completely dry. So I went through, started going through my dates, and then when I got to that last date, I went over it again. And so as you can see in this layout, I've covered up a few mistakes, and the reason for that is that I want you to see that mistakes in the bullet journal happen, and it's totally possible for you to kind of fix those and adjust your layout as needed to cover them up. Bullet journaling is very different than card making. You know, it's for personal use, and so it doesn't have to be perfect. I hope you found today's video entertaining and helpful. If you like this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up. For more information on the products that I used and a link to the blog post, please check the description below. Thanks for stopping by today.